Okay, I've got no jokes, I've got no little quips I want to make, I just want to get straight into talking about Avengers Infinity War. And this review is going to be completely spoiler-free, so worry not if you haven't seen the film yet. So Avengers Infinity War is the newest and easily the biggest movie to come out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's the big one, the one that we've been building to since the end credit scene of the first Avengers movie. Thanos has decided to take a break from chilling out on his massive chair and is out on the warpath to gather the fabled Infinity Stones, which will allow him to wipe out life as we know it in the universe. Now it's up to the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and a whole host of other superheroes to come together to stop him. So, where to begin with this movie? Well, how about I start with the characters, because holy shit are there a lot of them in this film. As is the case with most Marvel movies, the character interactions in Infinity War are easily some of the best parts of the whole film. I mean, we've had a good 20+ movies setting up the egos and personalities of these characters, and now we are seeing them clashing together here. It makes for some great dialogue, some great witty quips with each other, and it's everything that you want to see out of a full-fledged Avengers film that's this crammed with characters. That also goes for the action scenes as well. The action in this movie is some of the best that you have ever seen in a Marvel movie. The unique ways that the characters work off of each other in the midst of a battle is hugely imaginative and immensely enjoyable to watch. Seeing Doctor Strange using his powers in conjunction with Iron Man or Star-Lord is just so cool to watch. It's the kind of stuff that we've been waiting literally a decade to see now, and it's awesome. And I can't really go any further without talking about Thanos. Thanos is easily one of the best villains that I have seen in a comic book film ever. It's so refreshing to see not only one, but 3 great Marvel villains come out in the span of a year after the sheer number of underwhelming addition to the bad guy roster. Thanos is a great villain in this movie for very different reasons than, say, Killmonger in Black Panther or the Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming. He's not really that sympathetic a villain, but he is a very interesting one. The guy does some unquestionably horrific things in this movie, but you can still see that he has this warped sense of morality that makes him a very fascinating bad guy. He's not just out to destroy the universe for the sake of it because that's just what baddies do. He genuinely believes that he is in the right for doing what he's doing, and it makes you both simultaneously understand him and loathe him. Seriously, he does some messed up shit in this movie, and I'm not going to even dare spoiling any of it for you here. Which, that's another thing that I do have to touch on. This is easily the darkest and bleakest of the Marvel films to date. Unlike the previous Avengers films, there's very little happy-go-lucky elements to the world-ending crisis that's looming over the heads of the characters. There's more than enough humor that's sprinkled throughout the film, sure, but generally there is an overarching sense of dread and hopelessness that just covers this whole film. And honestly, that's one of the reasons that I think it's so good. A big complaint of Marvel that people have had for years is that there's little sense of seriousness or drama to its stories because they're spending just way too much time being funny and quippy with each other. Infinity War addresses this and gives us a film that even a lot of DC movies would go, bloody hell, you guys are dark. It's heavy, it's dramatic, and it's refreshingly serious for a Marvel film. I'm glad that the studio have shown now that they have the balls to go in this direction, and I think it worked out great in this film. However, with that being said, now is the time for me to address some of the criticisms because there's always going to be some. Honestly, most of the complaints that I have about this movie are kind of unavoidable because they stem from the ensemble nature of the film itself. Given how there are just so many characters crammed into this one movie, there's inevitably going to be more of a focus on some a lot more than others. As a result of that, a lot of your favorite Marvel heroes may kind of get left in the background to make way for ones that are more prevalent to the plot, which means that you may leave the film a little bit dissatisfied that you didn't get to see more of this character or that character and so on and so forth. But again, it was kind of unavoidable that that was going to happen, and in my opinion, the directors did the absolute best job that they could given the task that was laid out for them. My only other main criticism would be that while most of the character interactions were solid as hell, others, strangely enough, felt a little bit tacked on and useless. For instance, the romances. Again, I'm not going to give anything away, but the more romantic character interactions in the movie felt really shoehorned in and just a bit rushed. They could have cut some of those elements out, given how pointless that they felt in the movie, in order to give other elements more breathing room. Other than that, Avengers Infinity War is, to me anyway, the culmination of everything that I love about Marvel. It has some fantastic character banter, it has some of the most enjoyable and imaginative action scenes that I've seen in recent years. It has a fascinating and fantastically effective villain who meets and exceeds all expectations that were set out for him, along with an incredible sense of tension, bold new avenues for Marvel to travel down, and appropriately darker tones for one of their movies. Infinity War may well be up there with some of my all-time favorite comic book films. I'll probably have to see it a second time before I can really clarify that point, but just for now, I thought it was freaking fantastic. So guys, have you seen Infinity War yet? What did you think about it? Did it live up to the hype? Did it disappoint you? Whatever your answer is, leave it in the comments below, hit the like button, subscribe, thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.